street design affects all of us. It's a really important aspect of how we need to build our communities for populations of all ages.
Safe for everyone, driver and pedestrian, every pedestrian. Versailles is a wonderful place to live.
It's a small town, population just over 10,000, so you get to live that small town atmosphere.
It's been said to be sort of like a Hallmark community, like a Hallmark story.
Lots of horse farms in the area. We've got lots of distilleries.
We have a castle. Have you seen the castle?
So it attracts a lot of tourists.
As traffic explodes everywhere, it does here also.
And I think we just have to think about how can we continue to meet the needs of those trying to get from point A to point B throughout the city.
Court Street. What sign is on the cross?
The streets here are in various shape. Some are in better shape than others.
Woodford Plaza out on Lexington Road, if you look at a heat map of crash data, right at their entrance, you're going to see the most crashes. And that's one of our biggest issues we're looking at, is how do we make that safer and less confusing for people.
There are places that the sidewalks don't connect with any way to get to certain businesses.
There are areas downtown that are very walkable and probably traveled on foot quite often, but then the sidewalk ends. Someone now is in the driveway or they're step into the roadway because there is no safe path.
Versailles cares very much about how the pedestrians are getting around.
We want the safest roads possible for our citizens. We hired an engineering firm to come in and we worked with them. We put a committee together and they came up with $33 million worth of improvements. We were like, all right, this is a big chunk of money we need. Where do we start looking?
The challenges are always money related, financial, finding the funding for additional improvements. The Safe Streets for All grant came along and we were going to go after it, but it's a federal grant, it's a large thing. We don't have a grant writer sitting next to me, helping me. We don't have a lot of experience with that.
Federal funding is a really important source of funds in infrastructure projects, but it's also really challenging to apply for these grants as well as implement them. Smart Growth America worked with AARP Rural Lab to provide technical assistance to support 12 rural communities across the U.S. in applying for Safe Streets and Roads for All grant applications.
The AARP Rural Lab kind of fell into our lap right after we did this streetscape plan, and the timing couldn't have been more perfect.
They were rock stars, very helpful with the technical details of the grant application.
Getting to see how hard they worked and how dedicated they are to improving the walkability of their lovely community, I was so happy that they were awarded this grant.
The Safe Streets for All demonstration grant that we got was $108,000. And we have identified several locations around town that we want to study.
The funding that they were awarded is going to go to quick build demonstration projects that are going to lead to really immediate safety improvements for people walking in their community.
For instance, Woodford Road Plaza, entrance and exit, there's a lot of confusion in that area. You got people coming in left and right, leaving left and right. It's not necessarily well marked. Inside Woodford Plaza is Save-A-Lot. And outside that area is some lower income neighborhoods. You get a lot of walkers going to Save-A-Lot and shopping, and we want to make that pedestrian friendly. So we're looking at some ideas to help with that.
I would like to tell other small communities that AARP Rural Lab is a great resource.
Don't be scared to apply for grants. You never know what you're going to get.
It was a real uphill battle for us, but AARP Rural Lab really made it a lot easier.
And here we are, and we got a little bit of money, and we're gonna run with it, and hopefully in the future it brings more money.
Living in Versailles as an older adult is rewarding to us. If they see that we have a need, they just jump right in and see to it.
Versailles does care very much about their older adults. If you build a ramp into a building, everybody can walk up the handicap ramp. If you just build a set of steps, that just suits people who can do stairs, but everybody can walk up a ramp.
It's easy to prioritize safe streets because it's a way of making things safer for the population, whether it's folks that are 50 plus or in their 20s or their teens. You want to have a location that is livable. You don't want to have a location where you live that is dangerous. That's why we try to advocate for these things that is going to make our communities better.